2021. And forgive me, it's been a long day. Up and out about 6:30 this morning and back home about 7 p.m. So a long day. But hey, it's all about biking. So living the dream, of course. So good evening, everybody. Live stream RJH Wednesday, 27th of October 2021. And tonight is all about Module 1. So Q&A, all about Module 1. So anybody that is starting their journey into getting onto wheels, the video, the live stream this evening will help you. Okay, so it's all about Module 1. And as I said, anybody thinking, or anybody that has started their journey onto the exciting world of motorcycling, on the exciting world of two wheels, then this live stream will help you. So please do get into the chat room and ask away questions. Ask away questions. We like questions. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, it's going to be a good one. What we'll do is, before we get cracking into the Module 1, I've got a bit of stuff ready, like the Module 1 sheets and so forth. But before we get cracking into that, what can we say? Well done to everybody that has passed or completed Tasters CBT Mod 1, Mod 2 in RJH course, RJH Northwich, RJH Wigan this last week. Well done to you all. And if you weren't successful getting through, then keep up the good work, keep at it, keep positive, keep watching the live streams, the videos. If you were not successful, do keep going. You can get there. Also, a big well done to those that have messaged me. Keep getting messages up and down the country. People message me on social media platforms, praising the videos, letting us know that it's good work and that the videos have contributed to them successfully obtaining their bike license and the various stages going through. So keep those positive vibes coming through. It does work. It is what makes us want to make more, because as I'm sure all of you appreciate, it all takes time, and it takes an investment from the school, all the camera equipment and so forth. So it is, it is the positive vibes that we need. Okay. So that's all of the well dones, the congratulations, and also Team RJH growing. I think there are 11 instructors now. So we have 11 active instructors, a mixture of full-time and part-time, and we are training new instructors in, and we are recruiting new instructors for 2022. We've got lots of exciting things happening. So there are a few of us now, and we do need that positiveness. So big well done to all of those also. So keep it up. Keep it up. So we are going to be going through the score sheet. We are going to go through the Module 1 test sheet, okay? And we'll go through from the beginning and right through to the end. And then anything that comes along question-wise, then we can let you know our take on it. Okay, so let's stop all that rabbiting on and let's have a look and see who is in the chat room. Okay, chat room. So good evening to Lisa. Welcome again to the live stream. And Lisa is in the West Wing somewhere, or is it in the Southeast Wing? I think somewhere in the house. Good evening to Hader. Thank you for joining us, Hader. Good evening to Graham. Now, we've got a few Grahams on the live streams, and we've got an instructor, Graham. So, Graham, is this, you're a new viewer? It's not our Graham, is it? No, because he's asked another question a bit further down. So it's not our Graham. So Graham, if you are new to the channel, all we do ask, please, is subscribe so that you can, get notifications and so forth of future live streams. Rid of that, it's pinged up on the screen. So yeah, welcome to the live stream, Graham. Subscribe to the channel and we can keep in touch. And Hader, hello Graham, love to see you on here. You know Graham, Hader, it's not our Graham, so but he's we'll see. Let us know where you're up to, Graham. We're going to go through the mod one. That hopefully is something that is of interest to you. Steve Jones, good evening. The answer is yes, Steve. You can use counter steering for the avoidance cones. If you're referring to that, you can counter steer on the top bend. Yeah, why not? Remember counter steering. If you want to go to the right, you're pushing down on the right. If you're going to the left, you're pushing down on the left, or a bit of pressure. Yep, so the answer to that question is yes. Hader, mandatory CBT before anyone is allowed to take car driving lessons would make for safer and more awareness whilst driving. Yes, we I suppose we often come out with that. Yes. I mean, CBT is very worthwhile for road safety, and yep, so I would go along with that. Graham, is mirror checks enough before moving off? Check your mirrors, but you're not checking your blind spots, so we will teach you to check your mirrors and your shoulders. What I have got also, if you take a look at the description below, I have got a list of videos which are applicable to the module 1, lots of different exercises individually, and also a mock test on an actual multi-purpose test center. The links are below, so you can do a lot of watching and you'll see the observations, Graham, before moving off. Very important that mirrors and shoulders are applied. Good evening to Callum. And yeah, so good. Got a few in the chat room. We'll give it another 5 minutes before I go through and start off a bit of background with mod 1, etc. But yeah, so for those that have, and I might repeat myself, but it is good because YouTube picks up on it, and more people will then come in and watch the live stream. So it's important you comment away. It's important you like the video, this live stream. Important that if you're new onto here that you subscribe to the channel. But yeah, it is RJH's weekly live stream. The subject is Module 1. So this live stream can benefit anybody that is just starting out, that is thinking about their full motorbike license. You can get people coming in and contributing that have already done the training and the test, because of course you've got a lot of knowledge, and we all want that knowledge off of you. We all want your input, because there's a lot of newbies that will benefit from it. Okay, so it is important. So a couple more people arrived into the chat room. Yeah, Hader, can we see more videos with Sylvia, please? Riding and show us the maneuvers, etc. Yeah, message Sylvia on here. She will hopefully be joining us shortly. But of course, it has been a very, very busy 7 months since March 29th. We really have all worked so hard. So something as simple as making videos has been not neglected, but we've had to prioritize, and the training industry has been so busy. So it's just been put on the back burner a bit. But yes, if you message Sylvia, things starting to ease off a little bit now, getting towards the winter time, starts to decline a little bit more time on our hands. So it may be that Sylvia might again start, recording some videos. But yeah, good suggestion, Hader. Give her a message on here. Sure, she can help you out. David Lawton. Good evening, David. Having recently passed Mod 1, I was surprised to hear from a number of trainers some of the examiner inconsistencies when it comes to Mod 1. Yes, unfortunately. I mean, we use 8 different test centres. I would say for us, it's pretty consistent, but I think on the day with an examiner, with a trainee, it's all taken into account. But I would say we are pretty consistent. But for me, I think personally, from my point of view, and I think I probably speak on behalf of all of my instructors also, but out of all the 8 test centres that we use, I would say if there's any inconsistency, it's the facility itself, and that's a big bugbear of mine at the moment, is that at one test centre you are able to go in as a school with your pupils and use the facilities if you're early, if you're not. And another test centre within the region could be 30 minutes down the road. It's no different. The size of the test centre is the same, but you're not allowed in, and your pupils, you've got only 10 minutes before, things like that. That's the inconsistency that I see more than the examiner's scoring. So I'm say out of the 8 test centres that we use, I would say it is pretty consistent on how they mark you and the faults, but the facilities are not consistent. But good question. I suppose it depends what area you're in. So that's my take in the Northwest. And in fairness, the facilities, there's no has no sort of reflection on the examiners, because the examiners are spot on. The examiners that we use are spot on. But the facility, which isn't the examiner's responsibility, in case they're watching. But anyway, we've said our piece. the Double Standards Agency. There's a little bit of a nickname for them. Good evening to AW8. We've got Abdisalam Bakaru. Good evening. That's a new name on the channel, I think. Abdisalam, anything we can call you for short? That's a bit of a tongue twister. Abdis, maybe. Welcome anyway. New name on the channel. Press that subscribe button. Graham. Oh, Southwest Steve. Good evening, Southwest Steve. New on the channel, Southwest Steve. Or have we spoken before? Whereabouts in the Southwest? Because that is my neck of the woods. Mal, that's another new one, I think. Oh, you've passed. Good man. Get that subscribe button pressed if you're not already anyway. And what I always try and say to people that use the channel and pass their tests, stay subscribed. Don't sort of unsubscribe and disappear. Stay in touch. Keep in touch, because you can contribute to all these sort of things if you have spare an hour or whatever one night and you're a bit bored. Because there's a lot of learners, a lot of newbies on here, and they're aspiring to be like you, passing your test. So, and you have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that you can help me pass on to these new people to get new people onto two wheels. Yeah, great. Get there. Bristol. Yeah, well, originally, not now, I'm up in Manchester now, but I left the Cotswolds about 40 minutes north of you then, Bristol. The Cotswolds I left when I was about 24, when I was a young, ambitious whippersnapper trying to get on in the world of the workforce. But I gave all that up when I started teaching. I haven't done a day's work since I started teaching. But yeah, Bristol, nice. Yeah, changed over the years. So, Mal, just passed your mod 2. Videos helped immensely. Well done. Hey, great. That's what you will stay subbed and keep following your channel. Good to hear that, Mal. Let us know what bike you're riding, mate. And yeah, contribute where you can. But great feeling getting that mod 2 passed. Great feeling. What a nice Christmas present, isn't it? Get your full license now going up to Christmas. Start looking forward to next year. Steve Jones, can you go too wide on figure of 8? Yes, you can. So do not go too wide on your figure of 8. They won't like it. Figgle, good evening, Figgle. Nice of you to join us again. Yeah, Southwest Steve, looking to do your ERS, Enhanced Rider Scheme. Worth what? Any further training is worthwhile. Good stepping stone up to advanced, or if you've got a bit of background in biking anyway, skip the ERS and go straight to advanced. Yes, Hader, stay subscribed so you can get updates and refresh your theory knowledge, and also help all the newbies that are coming through, because we are getting a lot of newbies. That's what the channel is all about. And you know, it is important that we do help each other out. Okay. So I think we've got a bit of a following going on at the moment. 16 people on the channel, 17. Get that like button pressed, please, ladies and gents, because it will help more people tonight while it's live join and contribute. So the more people that comment, the more people that like the video, it will spread out on the algorithms of YouTube, and more people hopefully will come in and watch. And that's then, you know, before, so I've had about 15 minutes, if you like, 20 minutes of just rabbiting on before I actually get into the module 1 stuff. So we've got a bit of an audience, and then we can start helping each other out. good evening, Sophie. And Sophie's been with us today at Northwich. That's where I've been today. I had the pleasure of joining Sophie on a CBT road ride. And I was pleasantly surprised how quietly confident, but pleasantly surprised how Sophie did on her CBT road ride. And, very nice manner, very nice radio tone, and got the best out of her trainee. So very, very happy. Well done to Sophie. Mod H is more than a training school. It is a family of people who care about the people who love to ride motorcycles. Spot on, Ada. And the more people that we can get into two wheels through the channel, because we are communicating with the wider audience up and down the country, rather than just the Northwest. So it is a big family. That I couldn't have said it better myself. We are a family. Yeah, well, any cone knocked over is certainly a serious fault. Yeah, so don't knock one over. Kicking it and it doesn't go over, yeah, you would certainly get a minor fault. And yeah, so best thing to do not touch the cone. That is as simple as that. They're not right close together. There's plenty of room. So don't knock a cone. And then it is job done. So are we getting about ready? Southwest Steve, my mate did a CBT at a local school in 3 hours. Is that legal? Well, I'll let all the chat room people tell you whether that is legal. And then I will give you my take on it. A CBT in 3 hours, is that legal? That's an interesting question. Yeah, tell him to go redo his CBT. Yeah. We've got a great collection of live streams in the playlist of live streams, and we've done CBT training in the past, and you could go back and have a look at those CBTs and tell me whether you think it could be done in 3 hours. Because, well, I mean, Sophie probably did very nearly to that on the road ride of her CBT today. If you break it all down, there's 5 parts to your CBT: A, B, C, D, and E. Well, element E, that's a 2-hour road ride at the end. That's start. That's 2 hours. Element D is going to be 45 minutes. So that's 2 hours 45. Element A is going to be 45 minutes. So there's 3.5 hours. So 3 hours on a CBT. Yeah, it's there's some funny going on there. Now, all ATBs now in current period have to submit their CBT returns online, and they have to. One of the requirements is how long the CBT took. So if they submit the CBT took 3 hours, that is going to get flagged up. That would cause, I would suspect, that would cause an enforcement examiner, a CBT enforcement examiner, to look into that. So if they have done a CBT in 3 hours, they are playing a very dangerous game. AW8, since DAS tests passed, practice and emergency stops at higher speeds now. Great, yeah. Always any new bike, get a car park, go and get to know the brakes on that bike in different conditions. Very worthwhile. AW8, I would support that. Callum, I know they are quite pricey, but they look very smart. What we're talking about there, mate? Honda Goldwing, yeah, they are great. Not for the English weather. Get them down on the continent of Europe. Absolutely spot on. Ball bag, my driving instructors seem to drive like lunatics, breaking speed limits and jumping red lights after my test was over, and I followed them back. Just goes to show. Yeah, just goes to show. Yeah. Southwest Steve, have you done your mod 1, Graham? That's a question for Graham a bit earlier on. Sophie, focus is good at Hayder. Go for it. Enjoy. Focus, yes. Anything is possible with the right frame of mind. PMA, positive mental attitude. That is the key to everything you want. Yeah, positive mental attitude. Okay, so there's 26 minutes rabbiting on. Let's get to it. Tonight's live stream. Thank you everybody for joining. Tonight is all about module 1. So the live stream, beauty with it is getting this interaction and everything else, but the beauty is at the end of the live stream, when I finished it, it can go into the playlist of live streams, and you can always play it back. It will always be there for future people. They can refer back to it. So tonight is all about module 1. Okay, do keep commenting away. Do keep liking, and any newbies, subscribe, because it will all help more people join on to this live stream as we speak. The enforcement examiners, CBT enforcement examiners, Graham, are people, they are above the examiners, or to say they're different departments of the examiners, but they investigate, they go around check testing instructors, they go around making sure that a training body is keeping up to the standards of the requirements. And yeah, so if they looked at if they had if a 3-hour CBT came up, they would certainly be in their radar to have a look at it. And they have the right to close an ATB down if they are breaking the rules. Good evening to Paul Sugden. Right, so module 1, everybody. Module 1. Got a sheet here. Module 1. If you think of it as the third part of the motorcycle, the route to get your motorcycle license. So it sits after the theory and it sits before the module 2. Okay, so CBT, if you're going from a new rider, I'm not talking about upgrades. So if you held it for 2 years where you can go and you don't need a theory or CBT, just a mod 1 and mod 2. I'm talking about a new rider going through the process. It's CBT stage 1, motorcycle theory test stage 2, or it could be now module 1. All right, so we're focusing on module 1. Very important that you and you can speak with your instructors. This should not be coming as a shock to you, but you need to make sure that you arrive at test with all the correct documentation. And as instructors at RJH, we will take the documents off of you and we will ride you to the test center. We don't meet at the test center, ride you to the test center, and we use 8 different test centers. So documents that you're going to need to do your module 1 is your CBT certificate and your theory certificate documents. Still at the moment, what you need to wear as well, very important: minimum of ankle protection footwear, minimum of denim jeans. Some school examiners now, some test centers are getting a bit funny about the trousers. So we always recommend, body armor trousers. So denim jeans as a minimum with the body armor in. Jacket, helmet, gloves, we provide the basics, but you can get turned away if you're not wearing the correct gear. Currently, at the moment, also, all of the test centers we use, as I say, we use 8 of them. You do require a face covering. RJH provide all of our full licensed trainees with an RJH neck tube. Link below, and I think you can purchase them. Maybe not. I can get the links below, but we give all of our full license trainees a RJH neck tube, which suffices to when you meet the examiner. So make sure you are prepared. Make sure the day before you've got all your documents ready. Make sure the day before you know what you're wearing. Make sure the day before you know what time you need to arrive at your test center, at your training school. Because, if we've got 2 pupils and we need to meet you at, and it's not uncommon, at 6:15 in the morning, and you're running late, you could be jeopardizing the other person's test and you're putting pressure on the instructors. The instructors, is a very pressurized environment, and they want to get you to test on time in the right frame of mind. So do take responsibility yourself, be prepared, arrive on time. Because always what happens is when somebody's late, when they forgot their documents, it's always our fault for some reason. It's always our fault because you're 15 minutes late. Don't quite understand how that is. So do take responsibility. Get there in the right frame of mind makes it a lot easier. Also, make sure you have breakfast in the morning. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're brain food. If you're testing in the afternoon, make sure you've had some dinner. Because if you're dehydrated, if you're hungry, you've not fed your brain, that's going to affect your performance. I'm sorry. So, we get people arrive at 1 o'clock for the afternoon test. Oh, how are you doing? Yeah, I didn't sleep. I've not eaten all morning because I don't feel I can, and I've not drunk anything. Well, that's not a good recipe. So do prepare yourself and enjoy it. I think that's about it for documentation you need and what you need to wear. And I have got some videos on this, which I haven't got the links below. So I'm going to make a note, and then what I can do after this live stream, I'll put them in, and then for next live stream, module 1, we will have it. So what you need to wear, and documentation. Okay. Depends what test center you're at, will depend where the car park is in relation to the facility, but your instructors can help out with that. And sometimes, depends where you're entering the facility as to where you're going to go for the first exercise, which is the manual handling. And the manual handling is the 8 green cones at the bottom. So, there's test centers that'll have a car entrance to get in here. So you have to ride down. Might be over there, so you have to ride down. There's one that the gates are up here to get in there. You have to ride down there. There's other test centers, the gate will be here, and you have to go in and turn around and come back. So it just depends on where you are. Will depend on how you get into that facility. Okay, but your instructors can help with that. And we use, as I said, say it many times, we use 8 different test centers from RJH in Wigan, from RJH in Northwich and RJH in Manchester, we use 8 different test centres, and Bredbury is one of those. So we use Bredbury, Macclesfield, Shrewsbury, Chester, Wrexham, St Helens, Atherton, Darwin. So we use many test centres. Yeah, so David, Bredbury Test Centre, there is a Greggs around the corner. Not good for the waistline, though, if you keep going there. But yeah. So let's think then. You've got to your training centre on time. You've got yourself prepared. Your instructor's responsibility is to get you to your test centre on time. And you're all ready in the car park, and the examiner will call you into the office, if you like. At the moment, they're using the garage where they park the bikes. So they will call you into the room and check all of your documents. You sign a disclaimer, submit your email. Your report will be given to you by email, will be emailed, not given to you, be sent to you by email almost instantly. Within 5 or 10 minutes, you're finishing the test, you'll get it. Yeah, so checked all the documents. There's no questions. There's no show me, tell me. There's no eyesight check or anything on module 1. It's really just signing the disclaimer, and then leading the way out to your bike. Okay. Now remember, once you've signed all the documents and before you get on your bike, even in the car park, your test has started. Okay, so you're out in the car park, you're not on the facility, but your test has started. All right. So the reason I say that is because it is important then for you to make sure that when you get on the bike and ride into the test facility, remember that you are on test. Even outside of that facility, in the car park, you are on test. Okay. So don't forget your observations. Don't forget to be aware of who else is in the car park. So we all know what the control position is, do we? Should do. It's right foot covering the rear brake, left foot down in first gear, ready to move off. Before you move off, check your mirrors, check your shoulders. Okay? Very important. Listen to the examiner. He'll ask you to go forward, wait, so you can then turn around, or he can ask you to just ride forward and park in one of the bays. But either way, the bay that we will always at RJH teach you to park in will be the right-hand bay with the yellow cones behind you. So the right hand with the yellow cones behind, so that when you push the bike around, it's going to be easier from the right to the left. But you can park in whichever bay you want. Remember, always moving off from a standstill in the control position, mirrors and shoulders before you move away. So let's get you parked up in the right-hand bay, 4 green cones. The right-hand bay, there's 8 green cones, 2 sets of 4. Park in the right-hand bay with the yellow cones behind you. Okay, and he'll ask you to secure the bike, and he will ask you to dismount. Very important then when you're parking in the bay, and very important, you're in the bay, you're not sticking out. Very important you do not hit those cones over. Very important. It's quite a bit. It replicates a parking bay like in a Tesco's car park. So very, it is very big. It's big enough. So you shouldn't be sticking out of it and you shouldn't be hitting any cones over. All right. So make sure you're comfortable with that. He'll come over to you and show you the diagram, and then he'll explain that he wants you to do the manual handling. The manual handling is the first exercise, okay? The first exercise of manual handling. Now, on this Module 1 test, it's going to take about 15 minutes. Now, we have had a record a few years ago. Somebody did the whole Module 1 circuit and passed with a clean sheet in 7 minutes. So that's not bad, is it? But don't rush it. Listen to the examiner. Ask him any questions. Do not rush it. Okay, but on that test, it's going to take about 15 minutes. You can accumulate 5 minor faults and still pass your test. 6 minor faults is a fail. Now, if you come back to RJH and you've been to one of the 8 different test centres, and you come back to me and you say, oh, Rob, I passed. Yeah, fantastic. Good news. Oh, I got 5 minor faults. And I say, well done. You've passed 5 minor faults. There's a naughty corner down there and you won't be seen for 2 weeks. Because if you come back with 5 minor faults, tell you what, you're playing it very close. Nothing to be proud of. Well done. You've passed. But 5 minor faults is messy. Okay. And you can comfortably pass your Module 1 with no faults if you do everything you've done in your training. Your instructors show you the good things, and then you can come off there with no faults. It is possible. It happens quite frequently. All right. So you've parked up, secure the vehicle, dismount the vehicle. Now, what have we got? Oh, David, you had something there. You've deleted it, but I think you were, it's the sequence of parking up. And what we would do is always come to a stop in the box, select neutral, and turn the engine off, and then put the side stand down in that order, because if you're putting the side stand down with the engine running, you could click it into gear. Try not to stop in gear because, so find neutral, ignition off, stand down. Yeah, that's the order, David, to do it. I've had people that have got very confused because they've not done it that way. The engine's running, they put it in first gear, the bike lunges, they drop it. I had somebody leave it in first gear. Couldn't work out what the problem was because he couldn't push it, and ultimately the examiner had to help, and he failed him. He would have passed without that, but left it in gear and couldn't work out why the bike. I've had exactly the same as that, David, and the young lad it was, and he actually got down on his hands and knees, thought there was a stone underneath the wheel, because the whole thought it all just gets scrambled and just couldn't work out what the problem was. So always, that's what we teach, always, is into neutral, engine off, side stand down, and dismount. So that is spot on. So if you've been taught that, David, you've been taught the correct way. So and I can tell you there's a lot of people don't get taught that. So the objective is to push the bike into the opposite bay. So if you do it right to left, it's so much easier because you can just get on the side, kick the stand up, do your observations over your shoulders, and then push the bike around in one scoop, looking where you're going. If you feel the bike is heavy, That's because you are leaning the bike off the upright position. If you start leaning it towards you or away from you, you're going to feel that weight. So keep the bike upright. And in order to keep the bike upright, you're going to have to give it a bit of pressure when you're pushing it, because it's naturally going to want to lean to you. And if it does start to lean to you, even Arnold Schwarzenegger would struggle to keep that bike up. All right, so make it as easy as you can for yourself. Park in the right bay, push it into the left bay. It's a lot easier. One scoop around, and don't make yourself feel the weight of the bike. Once you've pushed it around into the opposite bay, pop it back on the side stand and wait for the examiner to come over to you. Right, what's there? Hey there, you don't want to leave it in gear as you turn it off, as when you let out the clutch, the last cycle, the engine may jerk the bike forward abruptly. Absolutely, it happens all the time. I've seen it happen. Yeah, I've seen it happen. So are we all happy with manual handling? Any questions? Give it a few minutes. Any questions on manual handling exercise? If there is, comment away. Comment away. Manual handling on module 1. So what we've got in the description below, so you can take a look at your leisure, but what we've got down there is a demonstration that I've done a few years ago on my pan-European slow speed manoeuvres. We've got a mock test on an actual mock test on Blackburn, a multi-purpose test centre, so there'll be a manual handling on there as well as all the other things. And we've also got a manual handling exercise film, so you can even have 2 or 3 there on that exercise. Some videos in the description below. Yeah, sometimes people do that. I mean, if you leave it in gear, if you're aware of that, and then you bring the clutch in, it's not a problem. But you're not even going to mention it. But through what we've discussed, the safest way is what we teach is, into neutral, engine off, side stand down. Yes, tips. Some people we teach right to left, but not everybody likes it. Some people like to do it the other way and do a 3-point turn. There's no right or wrong. As long as you're pushing it from one bay to the other in a safe manner and in a controlled manner, then the examiner would be happy. Well, yeah, Paul, that is it. We try and work it the easiest way, but on the day, how you do it is how you want to. So some of the smaller people, male and female, like to do it sort of halfway and then put the stand down and rest for us, because it wears them out. Some people, the bigger bikes, there's no right or wrong way. Don't use rear brake on emergency stop, Graham. I think that's wrong. It is wrong. Both brakes. We'll come on to that shortly. The most effective way of stopping in a straight line is front brake followed by back brake. Okay, good. Don't forget all round obs during handling. Yeah, before you move off and looking where you're going, be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. That is the key, isn't it? That is the key. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Are we ready then to move on to the next exercise? The next exercise is 2 into 1, which is your slalom, into your figure of 8. And you have 5 yellow cones and 2 blue cones. 5 yellow cones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 blue. So it's a slalom into the figure of 8. Slow speed control. So as we all know, the slow speed coordination is throttle, clutch, rear brake. Throttle, clutch, rear brake. Now, speed of the slow speed slalom figure of 8, we would always recommend about 6 to 7 miles per hour. Get a little bit of rhythm. Very important you do not use your front brake. Very important you're looking where you're going, okay? And if you can maintain that sort of speed, you'll find it a lot easier. The most important control on your slow speed has got to be your clutch. It needs to be on the friction zone. It needs to be driving, giving you drive, giving you power, which is your balance. So bring the clutch in off the bite. Lost the balance, chances are you're going to put your foot down. Gentle with all the controls. Slalom. So your point of entrance would be the first 2 yellow in between them. Slalom, carry on the figure of 8, and your examiner will call you out one side or the other. So listen out for him. If you don't hear him, don't worry, shout loud. He's going to get you to do at least 2 figures of 8. Very important, moving away, control position, first gear, mirrors and shoulders before you move away. Very important you don't put your feet down whilst riding. Very important you don't hit a cone over whilst riding. On the figure of 8, you can come back round the yellow cone if it helps. I don't. Most of my instructors will not teach it, because if you're planning it and you're using the depth, you should be able to get back around. You certainly wouldn't want to be going wide. So I would say if you're coming over here, you're probably pushing it. Yeah, so it's not as wide. You got a lot of space. It's not a question of, oh, I'll use that space. I'll use that space because I've got it. So be sensible. If you're in doubt, ask your instructor. That's what you pay him for. So slalom and figure of 8, the faults. What's going to happen if you don't check your mirrors? What's going to happen if you put your foot down? What's going to happen if you hit a cone over? These are all faults. Serious foot down, serious hit a cone over. Miss your observations, probably a minor fault. Don't do too many of them. Balance, head bars, yeah. Very important to relax on the bike. Don't be too stiff. Very, very important, okay? And rhythm, get that rhythm. Very important to have that rhythm. Without the rhythm, without the pace, you're going to find it a lot harder. A lot harder. So carry on going on the figure of 8 until your examiner calls you out. Okay, so that's that. What's next? It's the any questions on slalom figure of 8? Any questions? Talk through the faults, haven't we? Talk through the canoe. Again, the slalom figure of 8 is in the description below, live videos. Okay, so all of the exercises I'm talking about, you do have in the description below live videos. So do check them out. Do check them out. There's a few there. Slalom figure of 8s. There's a few. Slow speed is the next one. So he'll probably get you to pop the bike into neutral and have a chat with you. But you're going to be a slow speed in a straight line. He's going to walk behind you, and he wants your front wheel stopping in the box of 4 blue cones. So we call you out, and then it's over. Very important, your front wheel is in the cones, or sorry, I do correct myself, because we do have one of our examiners pops into the live stream from time to time, and he did actually say, likes the videos, blah, 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 good job, da, da, da. But the slow speed in a straight line, stopping with your front wheel in the box of 4 blue cones, isn't actually what they ask them. And they must have done somewhere in the past, which is why I've said it. But you can actually stop with your front wheel up to the blue cones. The front wheel doesn't actually, on these slow speeds, so once you finish your figure of 8, when they get you to ride slowly, your front wheel can actually stop in, up to the first 2 blue. So you don't actually have to get your front wheel in the box. We tend to teach get your front wheel in the box. But for anybody that's not, and that's fine, front wheel in the box, but you actually don't have to. You can get your front wheel up to the box. So just for those viewers that are, not training with us, but that's what our local examiner said. You might have had something similar, but he follows you, he walks behind you, and we like to get you down to a speed of about 4 miles an hour for this. And you're going to need to use that coordination. Back brake's going to need to give it a bit more gas, give it more drive at the front, use your back brake to trail you, and then you can get a nice slow speed control. So don't forget your observations before you set away. In fact, don't forget how you get into first gear, covering your front brake and so on, dancing with your feet. Think about that. One brake being covered at all times. First gear control position, mirrors shoulders before you move away. Get that back brake working straight away. We've actually got because what can happen is some riders ride away quick and then have to rein it back in to slow down. And I've got a video which is called POM, Prepare, Observe, Manouvre. Just reminding myself, I'm going to get it in the description below. POM. And it's where you're actually using the back brake. You've got the drive, you're using the back brake to hold you moving, get your observations, and then just release a bit of pressure on your back brake, and then you can get straight into that slow speed. So I'll get the video link down below. But if you want to have a look in the library of videos, it's the explanation and demonstration of POM. And I think while I'm here, and we'll have a little pause on going forward, I'm going to see if I can find that video, because it wasn't done that long ago. But this can help you go straight into slow speed rather than riding away and having to rein it back in, if that makes sense. And if I get the video link and put it in, if you have a look at it, you will understand what I mean. Okay, and it's just about coming up, I think. It's one of those videos, and it's really is a good one. No, it's not there. So I'm going to keep looking for one. I'm going to go back up through the videos. So do forgive me. POM, where are you? Yeah, it can be. I've had both. That's where an inconsistency could come in. They do like you to, because you've missed a cone. So that, Graham, if they miss cones 1 and 2 and go through it, I think you would. You'd certainly get a fault. So ask your instructor at your area. They may be able to advise you, but Now trying to find my video of Pom. For some reason, I can't find it. It wasn't that long ago, so I'm going to skip that then now. And what I'm going to do is make a note of it, and I will put it in. There it is. Got it. So I'm going to put this down below, and I'll put it in. Let's see where I should put it. Where I should put it, I'm going to put it in slalom and figure of eight. So I'm going to put it in after the slalom and figure of eight. I'm going to put the video in there, and if I put Pom explained. Prepare, observe, manoeuvre. Prepare, observe, manoeuvre. Try that. I think that is a good one. There, so let me save that. Sorry about that. I'm back again now. And that is Pom. I think Cone. I think I've had both. I think I've had a minor and I think I've had a serious on that. So check with your instructor at your test center. It is a good question. Yeah, it is a good question. But you know, the manual, when you move off from your manual handling and then your point of entry between the helicones 1 and 2, it is such a long space. Long, you know, it's not tight, so should not be any reason of. Pom, yeah, front wheel in the box. Following that is a U-turn. A great video below of a U-turn, and a few videos of U-turns. And I've just reminded myself because we actually had a demonstration by JB in Manchester, and it's been quite a popular video actually. It was only last week I put it up, but he did what is it? Edit. I'm going to put it in the description below for you with the other ones. But he, I've done thumbnail. JB demonstrates a talk through to pass your test, but the thumbnail has got the perfect U-turn, because what he's done, which is really good for you all, is he's showing you the two different types of U-turn you can do, because you can do what's called a standstill U-turn, or you could do a rolling U-turn. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. So there's actually now 3 different videos on the U-turn, and watch them all. Yeah, watch them all and let me know what you think, because we like to know what you think. So JB demonstrates a U-turn. The thumbnail is headed the perfect U-turn demo, because that's what it is. And he's had quite a few views on it. I'm quite pleased with him. Check that's gone on there. Yeah. 1, 2. Wrong one. Yeah, it's on there. So it's on. It's good. There's quite a few. There's 3. Yeah, 3 different ones there. It's good. 1, 2, 3. So U-turn. Yeah, life save. So you're moving off, mirrors, shoulders, slow speed. You've got the standstill or the rolling. Don't go outside the white lines. Don't miss your lifesavers. Watch the video. It explains it in really good detail. And the video is in the description below. All right. There's 3 there. That's good. Control stop. That's the next one. So controlled stop. And basically from where you are at the U-turn, you're now going to go up and around. Now you could go up left to right, right to left, depends on the layout. But there's no speed requirement on a controlled stop. He's not looking at your speed, but why not have a go again? Speed, have a little practice. Front wheel, very important, is stopping in the box. And he's looking at how you're braking. So ABC, accelerator, brakes, clutch, front, back brake in a straight line, front wheel in the box. Don't be harsh, nice and smooth. Forward plan it. Have a go at getting up to speed. So 20, we recommend, round the top bend, 20, up to 32. So you want to be up to 32, but get up to your speeds, stop front wheel in there. He's not measuring the speed, but have a go at practicing getting up to speed. If your front wheel's not in the box, then you have a problem. If your front wheel doesn't stop in the box, you have a problem. Okay? So make sure it is in there. He then makes the 4 blue cones to 2, puts one on top of it as 2 blue cones. Actually, it's to turn around. It's not another U-turn, just turn around. Don't forget mirrors and shoulders. Don't forget your observations every time you move around. And then he's going to be giving you a talk through on what is after next, which is the emergency stop. Emergency stop. Right, what have we got in the description below? Lots of talking. Can't see anything. Lots of talking. Refer down below to the description and you can see more videos. Sue completes all. The one to look at will be the test center, complete mod 1. So mock test on Blackburn test center for the emergency stop, but we'll talk it through as well. Anyway, I got 1 minor on mod 1, getting up to speed on controlled stop, ended up braking, was a bit too firm, remember, progressive on and ease off if able. Yeah, so if you are slowing down too early, you need to ease off the brakes so your front wheel is in the box. Remember, your engine braking is quite effective on modern bikes. Okay, so bear that in mind. But have a few practice runs with your instructor before you go. No speed requirement on your controlled stop, but why not, have a practice. Okay, right, the golden rules then. Emergency stop, we'll talk about how you're going to do it in a minute, but as a guide then you're going to be going around the top bend, and we recommend about 20 mile an hour. If you're going around there at 5, 10, puts pressure on you getting up to your speed afterwards. So if you can go round the top bend at 20, you've got less work to do to get up to 32, because modern bikes, the 650s will get up to, even the 400s, the A2s will get up to the speeds relatively quickly. Now, if you're doing an A1 and you're only on 125, then you're going to have to wring its neck a little bit to get up to speed. But on the modern big bikes, you can go around here, 20 miles an hour comfortably, second gear. On the 650s, stay in second. Maybe on a 400 on the A2, you might want to go up to third, just depends on the bike. So again, work that out with your instructor. But we would recommend trying to stay in second gear, which gives you better engine braking. One less thing to be thinking of. Now, you're being measured at the second red with the yellow. That's where the radar is. We train you to get your speed up to on approach to the first red, so that you're not looking at your speedo when you're coming through. Biggest cause of you hitting cones is you're looking down. Biggest cause of you taking long to stop because you've missed the examiner's handbook is because you're looking down. So let's get your speed 20 up to 32. No need to look at the speedo. You can concentrate on what you're doing. Now, as you come through the speed trap, that's where your examiner is going to put the right hand up. He's not going to put the right hand up before the speed. So let's plan 20. Let's plan 32 as a minimum before, measured here, 32. Now, 32 miles per hour is 50 kilometers per hour. Great, 50. No faults if you get that speed. 48, 49, 48, one minor fault. Happy. 47 and under, one minor fault, second attempt. If everything is okay, it's just speed related. So if you come through at 47 and you're skidding, then you're probably not going to get another go. But if you come through at 47 and your emergency stop was good, then, you know, minor fault, not acceptable, have a second attempt. So on the high speeds, you can get second attempt if the fault is speed related. Okay. Best to get your speed straight off. We would teach between 32 and 35 so that you're, you know, covering it, because you close your throttle a little bit too early, then the speed can drop. So 50 kilometers per hour, 32 miles per hour is bob on. Anything above 50 is fine, as long, you know, but bear in mind, the faster you go, the harder you put, more pressure you put upon yourself. Examiner puts his right hand up, and the examiner is going to be down here somewhere. Yeah, don't ride up to him. As soon as he puts his hand up, you need to stop. How are you going to stop on an emergency stop? Weather will depend as well, pressure, but the order that you're going to do it is ABC. So it's off the accelerator, front brake, back brake, use the brakes firmly, use them progressively, no snatching. Clutching after third brake is clutch. Modern bikes, all of our bikes have ABS brakes, anti-lock braking systems, so you can really work those brakes work them a lot firmer than a non-ABS. And if you are on a bike that has no ABS, remember, clutch, leave it later. Engine braking will help minimize the risk of skidding. ABS, you've really got to go silly to even get you skidding. But yeah, ABC is the best braking practice. Pressures, 70 front, 30 back in the dry, 50-50 in the wet. This is all in the videos below as well, so you can always refer back to it. If you do skid, you don't want to be skidding, really, do you, on a test? But if you do find yourself skidding, how you're going to respond to that is release your brakes and reapply. Bigger likelihood of skidding on an older bike without ABS. Okay, that's your emergency stop. Remember, it needs to be stopping in the shortest possible distance, given the weather conditions and your speed and everything, but it needs to be in control. It is all about control. So hopefully you get that one done first time. Turn around. Next exercise, hazard avoidance. Depending on the circuit, whether you do a left or a right, because you could do a left avoidance or you could do a right avoidance. The blue cones, remember, they're now going to be 2 blue cones. So you just need to stop in between the 2 of them. The approach is going to be the same. So you want to be second gear 20 miles an hour. Coming out the bend at 20 miles an hour, you want to be up to 32 miles per hour at the first red. 50 kilometers an hour, 32 miles an hour. Come through the speed trap. Don't close your throttle until you're on the avoidance. If you close your throttle before the avoidance, chances are your speed's going to drop quite quickly. You might then need to get that second attempt. 49.48 minor accepted, 47 under second attempt. That then is more pressure for you. So come through the speed trap back to 32.35. Get your speed approach correct at the first red, so you can then concentrate on the maneuver. Don't look at the cones, look at your destination. Your peripheral vision, let all of that work. Look at the cone, magnet, go towards the cone. Somebody mentioned earlier about counter steering. Absolutely, if it helps. Absolutely, if it helps. But don't close your throttle until you're on the avoidance. And nationally, I think the avoidance is monitored at a slower speed because people preempt it. They close the throttle before the speed trap, so the speed drops. Whereas the emergency stop, they're not closing the throttle until they come through the speed trap and they're waiting for the hand to go up. So generally speaking, the emergency stop is recorded higher than the avoidance. Likewise, with the avoidance, you can get a second attempt if the speed's not correct. Now, faults, speed, faults hitting the cone over, skidding on the emergency stop. Quite a common fault on the emergency stop is not stopping quick enough. So remember, the faster you go, the longer it's going to take you to stop. But if the examiner feels your stop took too long, then the test can get terminated. So make sure you're really comfortable with stop it as quickly as you possibly can. Certainly don't want to be riding up to your examiner. Stop quickly but safely. Once he's happy with that, it's then right over to the gate, let you out, park up in the parking bay. Now remember as well, your test is still on, isn't it? Your test is still on even when you're coming out of the gate into the parking bay. So do remember observations, remember your slow speed control. Some test centers are tricky where you're coming out of the test center into the bay. Don't be going for that front brake and stuff like that. Now, with the emergency stop, one thing I didn't mention, with the emergency stop, once you've done the emergency stop, the examiner will come over to you and it'll be he'll say either to you, right then, Robert, I will not ask you to do that again. And that means that the speed is good. Or you might say now, okay, Robert, if you want to turn around, we're going to have to get you to do that again. Ask him what your speed was, all right? So it's either going to be, I won't ask you to do that again, or you need to do that again. And once he's happy with the emergency stop, that's when then you're going to do the hazard avoidance. If you don't get to do the hazard avoidance, then something's happened on the emergency stop. So bear that in mind. But as I say, you can come off of that module 1 with a clean sheet. All right. If you do exactly what your examiner asks you to do, you do exactly what you've done in your lessons, it is not impossible. Once you've parked up, secured your bike, go back into the room with the examiner and he will tell you what your results are. And as I say, you will get a report quite quickly. What we can do is, lost my trail of thought. I do apologize. So once you've finished your module, when you get your result, get a bit of feedback, your examiner will give you another piece of paper, and it's a module 1 pass certificate. And then what you need to do with your module 1 pass certificate is put it in a folder with your CBT, with your theory, and then when you go for your module 2, you need to present all of that ready for your mod 2. My next live stream next Wednesday will be module 2. Okay, so what we can do is get a schedule one for next week. The next scheduled one, set a reminder, is for next Sunday. It's Coffee with Bob the Biker again. So no particular topic. So module 1, third part of your route. Module 2, your last part of the route. So you're nearly there. Counter steering, is worthwhile. Can help on the avoidance. I think the biggest reason for hitting the blue cone on the avoidance is not planning. So you concentrate on the speed, looking down at the wrong time. So that's pretty much about it. There's a lot of tips, a lot of play the video back. We've gone through most things. I think. Don't think I've forgotten anything. Refer down to the descriptions below where there's lots of videos. But of course, remember, you can come back and ask questions. Come back and ask questions. Come back and ask questions. All right. So that is the video. That is a live stream. It's about 1 hour 20. So I'm going to disappear shortly and get a drink before going to bed. A busy day tomorrow. So I must say thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing, and I hope the video has helped. Hope the live stream has helped. Do keep in touch. Let us know how you're getting on, and I would say look forward to seeing you on Sunday. All right. So thanks for coming. I'm going to say good night. Sleep well, and hope the live stream helped you. So bye for now.